Hello everyone, today's episode is going to be about the Energizer Arc5 portable power station. This is the portable power station that powered up my podcast and the last one I did and that I'm using today to run the entire podcast. So all of my equipment, which isn't much, is plugged right into it. Pretty darn cool little piece of power here. So we're going to talk about that more in detail. So I want to give you an official welcome to the show today. This is Eric Stark with Radio Arizona RV, your best RV podcast. This is the podcast that's for the RVer who likes to do the work himself or the RVer who likes to just understand how the systems work on his RV. Today's episode is number 75, and as I said earlier, it is about the Energizer Arc5 portable power station. So don't forget to share this episode with your family and friends, other fellow RVers. And also, if you have any questions, you can use the contact us page on radioarizonarv.com and send me a message, whatever it might be. Love getting them, so don't be hesitant. I reply to every email I get. Just so you know, I do have a brick and mortar retail store, and some of the products I talk about there are on the store or the websites. Or excuse me, they're in the store and on some of the websites. Got that kind of mixed up there. So I got, different websites and we sell products on them, but not everything I talk about is on the websites. Now, I will say this, the Arc5 Energizer is something I'm excited about. I'm carrying them in the store, and these will be on our websites when this episode comes out. Well, actually, they're already online, available now, although you're not knowing that because this podcast is recorded and then put online, right? That's how it works. But anyways, they're going to be on the website. I want to thank you for listening today. Now let's get into episode number 75 and break down this Energizer Arc5 portable power station. Now, one thing to remember about this thing is made by Energizer, the bunny people, the pink bunny, the Energizer batteries, still going, got that bunny pounding on the drums on his chest. That's who makes this. Now, I'm going to say this, Energizer makes great products. I get behind their generators. I've talked about those. And Energizer, they don't put junk out on the market. They make good products. And if there's problems with it, they fix it before it ever goes out live. But if something were to come up while it's live, they take care of it. They've been really good about making sure their products are good from day one. So this Energizer Arc5 is not alone in its category. There's other brands such as Jackery and Goal Zero. They make portable power stations, and those are probably two of the better ones of the different ones that are out there. This is a market or a category that's going to get filled up quick with a lot of low-end stuff. If you are in the market or you've been thinking about one, Goal Zero, Jackery, and Energizer should be on top of your list. And of course, I'm going to tell you to buy the Energizer because I think it's the best. And when you compare them all side by side, it does actually outpower everything, including the Jackery. The Jackery has a 500 watt one, and the Energizer is 550 watt. I'm going to get some of these numbers mixed up, but it's a higher wattage, so it's going to last longer. It's lighter weight, but we'll get into all that. This thing's pretty darn sweet, and I've had them in my store for a few weeks now, and I've had one sitting on my desk that I've been kind of meaning to, start testing. And I'm just thinking, well, what can I test it with? Real, things that are going to matter to people, or at least matter to me. The Energizer Arc5 has 12 volt outputs or 12 volt input. You can charge it from your car. You can charge it from a wall outlet in your house. You can charge it with solar panels. Currently, they don't make solar panels for this. They're working on that. From what I understand, they're supposed to be out any day now, but I don't know what that truly means in real time, getting it, to market. But they are working on them, and they are set up though, or it does come with a connector, an MC4 connector, which is a standard solar panel connector. So even if you had a panel and you wanted to make your own portable panel for it, you could do that. You don't have to use their panel. As long as it's between 60 and 200 watts, you're good to go. In fact, I have some of those connectors on order. I wanted to have them before this episode, but it didn't get here in time. But I do have a solar panel I'm going to set up to work with this. All I'm going to do is cut the end off the cable that's already attached to it and put on these MC4 connectors, and I'll be good to go. You can charge it with solar. You can charge it with your car. You can charge it with an outlet in your house or, 110 volt outlet anywhere. If for some reason you had a generator running, you could charge it with a generator. So this thing's, can be charged up. And, even if you had a generator, you might think, well, I have a generator. I don't need this. Well, listen to this episode. Let me talk about all this stuff because this thing's quiet, doesn't make any noise, doesn't generate any heat, no odors, nothing. It just sits there. You wonder if it's even working. That's how just awesome it is. You see the gauge on the front of it changing. Like right now, it's flickering between 14 hours and 15 hours. That's how much talk time I have left. And, last week when I started, I had like 35 hours, I believe, and it wasn't even fully charged. I just took this thing out of the box. I didn't even charge it up. I did it the way I do things. Don't read the instructions, just start using it, then read the instructions later on, figure it all out. But it also has USB ports on it as well. So you can charge, your phones, tablets. You can run a computer off of it. It's got everything. This thing is just cool for anything you need to power up. So it's 110 volts, it's 12 volts, it's the USB for all the kind of stuff we use today for USB. It's not just phones and tablets. It's charging up cameras, camcorders, video cameras, whatever you want to call them, regular still cameras, flashlights. What do you need to charge today? There's so much stuff. We bring so many things with us when we travel anymore. This little jewel only weighs 11.2 pounds. It's gray. Basically gray with black trim. It's, nice looking. It doesn't stand out. It's going to blend in. It's not, over the top like crazy, like bright red or anything. It's just got some nice colors to it. It works. And, I was thinking about this today. I have a portable power station, if you will, that I bought years ago, kind of testing it, looking at it, fiddling around with it, seeing if I had a market for it. I think it was a lot of money, man. And I'll tell you, the Energizer sells for $4.99. And which that might seem expensive, but when you see one and actually get one, it's worth every penny of it. But this other one I bought was probably 3 times as big, weighed about 75 pounds. In fact, I still have it. I just can't get rid of it because I think it just was such a huge investment. It was, I think my cost on it was around $700 and it came with a big, giant deep cycle AGM battery in it. And, basically it would just run 12 volts and 110 volts. It was clunky. It didn't work that well. It had a solar panel that would charge it. I wasn't all impressed with it, and this is, 7 years ago, 5 years ago, let's say 7 years ago. So the technology has changed so much. Having the one I bought, Nature Power, I think is what it was called. It's going in the trash now. There's no reason to even look at it. I'll never buy another battery for it. After I had to buy one battery for it, never going to happen again. It took hours to replace the battery, a total nightmare. It was just an AGM deep cycle battery, whereas the Energizer has this really cool lithium ion battery in it. And that's what makes it so sweet. Small, compact, and lightweight. I've been fiddling around with this thing, really looking at it and trying different stuff. Like I plugged my skill saw into it and that just didn't work. The blade was turning real slow. It was just too much for it. It's drawing too many watts, which that's fine. It's not going to, it's 500 watts, 518 watts or 550, excuse me. The other brand is 518. So 550 watts. It won't run a skill saw. So that made me think, well, there's probably gonna be other things with motors it's not going to run. And I haven't tried everything under the sun. I'd like to, but just busy. But for all the stuff you're out camping with, the things that maybe you might need some portable power for, maybe it's not even camping. Maybe it's not RVing. Maybe it's you're running a business out of the back of your truck. You need to hook some things up to get charged up from time to time. You don't want to have it all dangling in your truck or run power outlets to, let's say, the bed of your truck. Maybe you're working off your tailgate. Well, hey, speaking of tailgates, what if you're a tailgater? This will run a TV set. You could actually go to a football game or wherever without a generator and have this nice silent power running a TV set. So, hey, see, this thing's pretty cool. So I'm sitting here talking about it and it's like brainstorming, coming up with more ideas. And this is one of those things that everybody looks at it differently. People come into the store and they're saying, I can use it for this. I can use it for that, and talking to my brother about it, the same thing. He's looking at it completely different than I am. Using it around here, around the business lately. So this is the second podcast I've done on it. Looking at it, it's still blinking between 14 and 15 hours of talk time left. That's the hours of power it has left in it. Like I said, I didn't charge it out of the box, just started using it. And this thing's really doing well. Last week, after I did the podcast, I thought, what can I do to really give this thing a good test? Well, I thought hooking it up to a trickle charger to charge up the battery in my ATV would be a good thing. And lo and behold, it was. I got power. It's in my warehouse, but I didn't really want to do that. So I just grabbed this thing, set it on the ATV, had the trickle charger right there, hooked it up, let it run for 5 hours, and yeah, it draws some power down. It went from like 33 to about 19 on the power or the hours left. So it had some draw. But while I was charging up the battery on the ATV, I thought, hey, why don't I plug in a charger for my DeWalt drills? I did that, and I got 20 amp drill motors or batteries, charging them up. Now those DeWalts, or I'm going to say probably any cordless battery, for a drill or whatever, it's going to pull down some power, because it dropped it down quite a bit. But when I was all done, it's where I'm at now. I haven't charged it since, pulled some power, but that's all right. It charged up all the batteries for my cordless drills. And I said 20 volts is what I meant. Not 20 amp batteries, 20 volt batteries. You probably knew what I meant. I'm looking at all these numbers and stuff on the sheet I have in front of me, and it's just all blending together. And it's a Sunday. It's late. It's, like 6 o'clock. Yeah, late, right? So it's been a long day. But anyway, so this thing charged up the battery, no problem. Didn't heat up, didn't even get warm. It's just there, silently working, not letting off any odors, no emissions. And that's what's so cool. And it's in there charging two things I didn't have to run an extension cord to, which I could have done very easily, but I didn't have to. And it made me think, if someone with a boat, even an RV, you want to hook a trickle charger up to it, you don't really want to drag out power cords, you can just sit here and set this thing up and hook up to it. Or your ATVs, you might have them in a cargo trailer, a utility trailer that you store your ATVs in. I used to do that, and I'd run out an extension cord to it, hook them all up. For this thing, you just set it inside and leave it for a while and get those batteries charged up. The portability of it is really cool. And for an RVer, what I think is nice is, you can have this in your RV, and let's say you're out dry camping. You don't have to rely on the 12 volt system in your RV. You can rely on this. And if the battery in here went dead, let's say you did drain it down, you're watching TV all night, you killed that battery, at least everything in your RV is going to work the next day. And then you could start it up or charge it back up either through your 12 volt system in your RV, which, would drain the battery in your RV. So it's counterproductive. So I would say hook it up to a solar panel, a generator, or your tow vehicle, or run the engine in your RV. You have options for powering it up, but the cool thing is you're not killing the battery in your RV, which, we could do. But generally in an RV, you don't have an inverter to run your 110 volt TV, which this thing will run a TV. So you can actually run a TV for a few hours each night while you're out camping without this battery going dead and watching TV. So, it does have limitations. The battery's not going to run all day, every day for weeks at a time. It depends on what you're doing. Or if you're using your tablets, let's say your iPad, and you're watching movies on that, and then, you want to charge it up for the next day, then you can charge it up. This will charge it up, no problem. Charge the cell phone 45 times. You can't beat that. That's pretty darn good. I don't know how many times it'll charge up a tablet, but a cell phone do it 45 times. So a tablet's going to be similar to that. The battery's a little bit bigger. You're probably going to use more power if you're watching a video on it, but you have that option. So it just depends on what you do and you have in your RV, what you need to recharge, what you want to just run from it. It's not going to run everything in your RV, but it's certainly going to be a nice option for portable power. And, if you have a laptop, you can plug it into it. It's going to power that up or charge it up. So you can use the laptop, let's say outside the next day or whatever you want to do. It's going to charge it up. I mean, you can actually run your laptop while it's plugged in. It's the same thing. For an RV, this thing really, for anything, it has a place. Now, the $499 might be a hard one to choke down. A lot of money, but when you get it, it's amazing. You really start thinking about it, because I've known about this for some time. I mean, these portable power stations have been on my radar for a couple of years. And then the Energizer one was supposed to land back in May. So I've been waiting for it for a long time. And unfortunately, it came now, kind of into the camping season. But heck, we're going into, many RVers are traveling during the winter time. They're going down south, Arizona, Texas, Florida. But it doesn't have to be for an RV. It can be for anything. I mean, like I said, I've been just using it around the warehouse, around my work for different stuff. And it's real handy. It's kind of becoming this little go-to thing, I wasn't going to keep one for myself because I try not to do that with all the different things that I get, because I'd end up with so much stuff. And this one I'm keeping. It's mine. It's got my name all over it. I'm not giving it up. There's no way. And in the back of my mind, I knew that before I ever got them. Before my shipment ever arrived, I'm thinking, yeah, this is going to be one of those things I'm going to have to just keep. It's going to be, one of these is going to become my personal one. And like I said, I get so many different things. I can't do it with everything. Like I got these really cool 2000 watt Energizer generators right now. And I'm thinking, man, I'd just love to have one of those, but I've got 2 other generators. What am I going to do with it? But it's cool, Yeah, you can kind of see how I think about things too. I do like having little gadgets and knickknacks. And I know that's some of my passion for this, but it is a really nice item. There's going to be a link to this on my website, radioarizonarv.com. It's going to be on ArizonaRVPartCenter.com. It's going to be on sunpromanufacturing.com. Heck, it's going to be on hotboatropes.com, where we sell all of our power lines. I'm going to have sales sheets, landing pages. It's going to send out emails, blah, blah, blah. This thing I'm excited about. And a lot of products I do get excited about, but this one I think is just so cool because I can use it for myself more than just RVing, or for the guy who's a hunter or a fisherman. It's not just for those people. It's for anybody and everybody. It's for women. It's for children. It's anybody that has anything they need to recharge. And it's so much better than a power station or a power pack. You've all seen the little power packs, or I'm assuming you have, that you plug it into a wall outlet and it'll charge up your cell phone, keep it going longer than normal, maybe 4, 5, 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. I don't know, or your iPad or tablet. It keeps it going. It's portable power, but not like this. They don't have the ability to do what the Energizer does, or even the Jackery or the Goal Zero for that matter. They're just little power packs, and they have a purpose, that's for sure. Like we sell little solar chargers that'll recharge batteries in cell phones, some games, and tablets, small things like that. And we do pretty well with them. They're pretty darn cool. That's just, they work off solar power, but they'll actually work inside of a building, work off lights in your house, and they'll charge the battery in it. And in turn, that charges the battery in your phone. So it'll always have power. And they're great for the outdoor enthusiast because they're small, lightweight. You just want that extra power. Maybe you're out on the golf course, or you're taking your RV out, or just a little power to make sure you got enough juice for your phone to last for a couple of days, but you're not going to be able to plug it in. Well, this will do that, but it's not the same as an Energizer. It's very cool, but it's not the same. So this really kind of changes the playing field for portable power and what we can do with it. This, has a nice handle on it, 11 pounds, easy to carry around. Think about this too. For the guys, the gals, the persons that are using CPAP machines, this will run your CPAP machine for 3 days. Now, is that sweet or what? Because that's becoming a topic in the RV world and boating world and camping world, because some people are using CPAP machines, and they've changed the technology. They're getting better for the, being able to use out in an RV, out on the road, out camping, out on the water, but they still have their limitations, especially if you have a CPAP machine that has a DC adapter on it where you can run it off of DC. Because this thing will even power longer on DC than it will on the 110 volts. But you're still going to get at least 3 days out of it, which is pretty darn nice. So in the 3 days, if you can get it recharged up, then you recharge it up and you're good for another 3 days. Or if you're going out camping, you're going to be out for a couple nights and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about it. And you can still charge up some other things too. You just have to, it's one of these things, you take it out, you use it, see what the machine draws overnight, and You charge up your phone the next day and a couple other things and then see what it does that night, but you got the power there. I'm not an expert on CPAP machines. It's an episode that I want to do. I just haven't had the time to really dig into it and get the information from the right people. From what I understand, a lot of CPAP companies, that make these machines or rent them or sell them, they say you can't use them in RVs. It's really hard to do. And they try to sell you all this stuff. They make it more complicated than it really is. And even though the machines are changing, they're getting more friendly for the portability, they're still kind of a pain and kind of an unknown area. But it shouldn't limit you from RVing and enjoying that lifestyle or whatever it might be, using your boat, going out camping, whatever it might be, something for the day. It's going to vary. You have a CPAP machine. You can run, battery chargers, trickle chargers. You can recharge a drone. You can run a television set on it. If the power went outside in your house or, out or in your house, but you still want to connect to the internet because quite often the internet will still work. The power just went out in your area. It doesn't affect where your internet is coming from. So it'll actually power up your router. You can still have internet to get on a computer or TV. Maybe the power's out, but hey, you want to watch Netflix? Well, you can plug your TV into this, connect to the internet, and there you go. You're watching Netflix, killing some time till the power comes back on. You can plug a light into it or a string of lights, and it actually has an LED light on it with 3 settings, low, medium, and high, and the LED light's really nice too. And the fact it has different settings, I like that, although I hate most LED flashlights today. You go buy a flashlight, and you want something bright that's going to work, and you buy a good one, $30, $40, something like that, or they're on sale, but it looks like a nice quality. When you get it home, you hit the power thing and it starts flashing. You hit the power thing again and it starts a slower flash. And you hit the power button again and now it just stays on. You're like, I don't want to have 3 settings, flashing, kind of flashing, and then not flashing. I just want my light to go on or off. Well, this one does that, just 3 brightness settings, which is cool, so kind of getting off here on it, but, talking about the flashlights, because they have these goofy settings where this has 3 settings, but I wouldn't call them goofy. I'm looking at information while I'm talking about this. I'm looking at the machine. I'm looking at my equipment still running on it. And so I'm kind of bouncing around here. I'm trying to cover all the little things that it'll do and how you can use it. Your RV, if the power goes out in your house or your kids are having a little sleepover and they just need some light and something to charge up their devices, during the night. This is it, it does all that. If you have a drone, I don't know how many people out there have drones. They're getting more popular. So you can charge up your drone, keep it going while you're out doing whatever. Or, you don't have time to charge it before you leave. You can charge it on your way to your destination. Another sweet little thing about this is the Energizer Arc5 will run the Dometic 110 volt and 12 volt coolers. They have compressors in them and it'll actually power those things up, which is really nice. I have one, it's in storage right now because I'm in the middle of moving and had a little issue there. So a lot of my stuff's in storage and my cooler's in there and I want to get it out to test it on here, but I don't need to really. It's going to work. That's one of the sweetest things about this. It'll run 110 volt or 12 volt cooler. And Dometic makes some real nice ones of those. I know I don't say much nice about Dometic, but they do make some nice cooler / ice chests. Well, they freeze. They bring things down to freezing level, not just cool. They actually freeze. It's more of a refrigerator freezer. You can set the setting to freeze or just to refrigerate. The Arc5 will power that up. I mean, a Goal Zero and a Jackery will too, but I like the Energizer Arc5, as you can tell while I'm selling them. I truly believe in this product. And on the front of it, it says pure sine wave for the 110 volts. So when you plug in something to the 110 volt, it's pure sine wave. So what you get there is clean power. It's not dirty power. It's better than what you're getting out of your house. It's pure sine wave. So that's what a medical equipment will run on, high tech things. Pure sine wave is good. That's really good. It's the top notch. So everything about this is good. And the fact it uses the MC4 cables for the solar panels, that impressed me as well. They didn't come out with their own connections. Some obscure Energizer only connection that you can't find anywhere but on their website, and they're $38 a piece. They didn't do that. These MC4 connections, are on Amazon, and I hate promoting Amazon, but you can get 20 of them for like $5. Any RV store can get them for you too, but they're more expensive because they're, brand specific, but it's an MC4 connector and they all do the same thing. So I'm excited to get mine so I can look at my solar panel and see how it charges up that way. I know it's going to work. I just want to do it. I'm not worried about it not working. I just like tinkering with it, right? I've probably covered the gamut here, probably not in any real specific order. Anything that hopefully makes some sense to you. So it's going to work with all your devices. It has the outlets on it, this, run the CPAP machine. And then it's made by Energizer, the pink bunny people. That's cool. And it's going to power your products or your electronics anywhere. Wherever you can take it, you can power things up, which is nice. And, it comes with everything you need to charge it back up. So it's not like you got to buy extra cables. Everything's in the box. Even the cable to hook up to the solar panels, even though they don't have solar panels yet. Comes with the cable, plugs right in the front. It says input, and then that cable connects to your solar panel. It has the adapter going to use in your car for the 12-volt outlets. It has it for, home to plug into your house. It's got it all. You're ready to go. It even comes with instructions. That's not that big of a deal, although some things don't come with instructions anymore, but they have instructions and they have them online. And all the information I will have on our website as well, if it's not already there, along with the downloadable instructions, so you can have them on your device or your computer as well. I don't like carrying paper with me if I don't have to, with modern technology, you really don't need to have a whole lot of print paper anymore. Now, just to cover this so you have an idea here, because I'm sure you're thinking, well, how long does it take to charge one of these up? On a solar panel. Now, this is going to depend on the weather, how sunny it is, the size of the panel, but you're looking at 7 to 11 hours to completely charge it up. On a wall outlet, so you're at home, you got 110 volts, you can plug it into the wall, it's going to take about 7 hours. Now, check this out. In your vehicle's 12 volt outlet, 7 hours. If you're driving on a trip, you don't have time to charge Energizer before you go. You can throw it in your car. If you're going to be driving for any length of time, you're going to get a good, if not a full charge out of it. Then, of course, your generator. And they don't really rate the generator because if you have a generator, you might not want one of these. But if you did have one, would you be charging it up? I don't know. They don't rate the generator, so it's not there. But I would imagine it'd probably take 7 hours, just like it would on 110 volts in your house or your car. 7 hours. So that's pretty good charge time. The other guys, Gold Zero, Jackery, they take a little bit longer. It's competitive, but it's not the same. That's nice too. 7 hours really isn't that long for a full charge. And depending on what you're doing, you got to charge it up for a few hours and go, and it's going to work for you. Great. It's like so many things. My cell phone very rarely gets a full charge. I just plug it in and on my laptop or wherever. Well, I've had these, like I was talking about, the little solar panels in the store. Plug it into one of those, play around with it and charge it up. So I don't really need a full charge all the time. It works for me that way. But some people probably want to charge their cell phone every night, get that full charge, and that's great. But, so the Energizer, you might want the full charge all the time, or you might not. And another thing, it will go a year without being recharged. So you give it a full charge, the battery will last a year before it needs to be recharged. Now that's pretty darn impressive too. So it's not like you have to keep this thing always plugged in to keep it going, to keep a charge on it. If you charge it up and a month has gone by before you use it, you forgot about it, and you're getting ready to go on a trip, and it's going to work. It's going to be fine. You're going to plug it in maybe just to top it off, but it's not going to top it off much. You've got the full charge. Check it out. This is going to conclude this episode. I'm going on about it because this thing is just so darn awesome. And you have to really see one. Touching it and feeling it makes a difference too. But, I'm going to have everything on our website. It's like I said, so you can really get the feel for it. And I'll probably do a video too. I love it. This thing's just awesome. I want to thank you for listening to the show today. I truly appreciate it. And like I said, if you have any questions about this or anything else related to RVs, please reach out to me using the contact us page at Radio Arizona RV. And again, I want to thank you for listening to episode number 75 about the Energizer Arc5 portable power station. So I will talk to you in the next episode.